Hey, I'm joined right now by the man who actually founded the Campaign for Free Speech to combat this move against the First Amendment. As I said, you can check out their website, campaignforfreespeech.org. They're a nonprofit as well. And it's good to have with me Bob Lystad. He's a media lawyer, a former journalist. He's been awarded many times for, he's a two-time recipient, actually, of the Society of Professional Journalists First Amendment Award. Good to have you with me today, Bob. Thanks for joining me.
Drew, thank you so much for having me, and thank you for sharing me with all of your many listeners.
Hey, this study you did, or this poll you did, it's actually disturbing. When I saw it, it really sent up a red flag for me. And I'm just curious about who you looked at. Did the people you polled that said 51% of them, of course, it's a slim majority, but it's still a majority that want to see the First Amendment rewritten, and they didn't even know what it was. Tell me why you did that, what the results were, and why they felt that the First Amendment should be amended.
Well, we'll have to talk to all 1,004 people who got polled. It's a national poll, and we're not sure why they want the First Amendment rewritten, especially when a lot of them don't really understand what the First Amendment protects. And our primary goal is education, education, education. Let's get, especially for the younger crowd, let's teach them about how imperative it is to have free speech and a free press for our democracy.
Yeah, it's interesting when it comes to the First Amendment. I mean, people do have a misunderstanding of what it's all about. Maybe for those who may not know, I'm assuming that that people are aware of what that says. Maybe you could share what the Founding Fathers had envisioned when they wrote the First Amendment, because that particular amendment, to me, is so critical in terms of supporting what we can do regarding the other amendments. I mean, I think about my constitutional rights. I think I find their meaning through the First Amendment. It's the First Amendment that allows us to join a campaign, to argue against assault weapons or to object to gun laws. The First Amendment allows you to express outrage at, national security agency surveillance on your phones, or to stand up to defense of any government search of private communication. I mean, these amendments, you can go through them all. That First Amendment is so critical. Maybe explain what they envisioned and why today the mindset is that it should be changed.
Well, fundamentally, our Founding Fathers wanted civil liberties. They wanted to get away from some of the restrictions that the United Kingdom imposed on their citizens. It's weird because the United States is virtually alone among Western democracies in not prohibiting speech of any kind. Western Europe, virtually all of them have laws that restrict what people can say. And, I think they're well-intentioned laws. Yeah. People who deny the Holocaust, for example, that's a crime in Germany. That's, as an historical fact, no one can argue that the Holocaust was a terrible, terrible event. Right. But the United States is alone in saying, you want to deny the Holocaust? Go ahead and deny it, because you have a right to do that.
Yeah. What I found interesting, too, was the definition that you put up. Now, this is a definition you threw out that I think you said, was it 80% got wrong? I think that's 80% actually didn't know the First Amendment. You said the First Amendment allows anyone to say their opinion no matter what, and they're protected by law from any consequences of saying those thoughts or opinions. That's a fake definition of of free speech that you provided. Explain how that is wrong for those who may not know.
Well, we believe as a society that everybody should be able to speak their minds without fear of going to jail. People should be able to say what they want to say. Now, there are limitations. You can't say false and defamatory things about another person without some potential repercussion. But for the most part, people are free to do whatever they want and say whatever they want. And that's how we express our ideas to one another.
I'm going to take a few calls. If you want to join us, you can dial in 888-914-9149, 888-914-9149. Before I go to the phones, though, Your take on what's happening in Massachusetts, where you got state legislators there debating whether or not you can use the B word, and if you do, $200 fine, maybe 6 months in jail. You know, if you direct this at another person or somebody else claims you did that. What do you make of legislators even arguing over such a thing?
You know, it's in part because of a quirky Massachusetts law that lets a citizen go to their elected representative and say, please introduce this bill for me. So this wouldn't even be debated in 49 other states. And it's, the B word. I'm not in favor of, especially as someone who is the father of 3 teenage girls. I don't want people using the B word in my house or elsewhere. But if you who would go to jail if you prohibited and criminalized use of the B word is every cast member from the great TV show Friends. Phoebe, Monica, Ross, they'd all go to jail because they use that word all the time on that show. I know because my daughters have watched the entire series 4 times through.
Right. That's awesome. My guest today, if you want to join us, and it's Bob Lystad, right? Not Lystad, but Lystad, right? I get that right?
Lystad.
Yeah, gotcha.
You got that right.
Campaignforfreespeech.com is the website. And let me just a final thought from you here as well. I mean, tell me a little bit about your organization and ultimately what you're seeing here. We got a lot of people who want to see hate crime legislation. They want to go ahead and see speech included in that. We've got the concern with fake news. How does all this stuff kind of get filtered through the First Amendment?
The fake news is an interesting one because it's a term that is just bandied about these days kind of randomly. And in fact, most of the so-called fake news that people are complaining about is not fake news at all. It's real news. It's real publications. It's real broadcasters. It's CNN. It's Fox. It's New York Times. It's Wall Street Journal. It's not fake news. And I wish we could get away from talking about fake news because I don't see that as being the problem that some people do see. I
agree with you. I totally agree. Couldn't agree with you more. Well, look, I'm grateful for your time. It's good to have you here with me. The website is campaignforfreespeech.org, and I know everyone can find the poll and a lot of other great resources there. Hey, Bob, thank you for making time for us. Good to talk with you today.